comfortable with how flirty he is, and that's the problem. Unfortunately, I say...
Reason why I wanted to do this experience.
My name is Kirsten.
Julian, and we've been together.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about, well, Temptation Island. Episode 1, we're going to be breaking down Chelsea and Thomas, and also breaking down Kirsten and Julian. Guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you do me a favor. You like, you share, you subscribe, you click on that bell button for notification of uploads, and make sure if you're returning to the channel, make sure if you're returning to the channel, well then you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals, you got the minerals, you got the minerals. Alright, cool. Let's get into the particular episode. So, there were some really interesting things, I think, about dating that came alight in this particular show. Now, aside obviously all the madness that happens, a bit like Love Island when it all neck there is some really interesting things that happen within each couple. So we've got Chelsea and Thomas. First of all, we've got the flirt versus the insecure. Okay, now first of all, I've got no problem with anybody wanting to anyone being the life of the party, being open, being, you know, I should say, you know, a conversationalist, but he described him his own self as being flirty.
I've never cheated. I am just a flirtatious, friendly person, so when I'm out in public, just been my inclination to be very sociable.
I just want to let you know that
in itself is problematic. If you're describing yourself as flirty, listen, I'm a flirty person, but not when I'm in a relationship. When I'm in a relationship, I lock all of that down because I know that is not the time nor the place to do this kind of thing. You cannot be flirty in your relationship. You're supposed to make sure you keep your partner safe. So you are not supposed to be flirting. You shouldn't describe your behavior as flirty. I can understand if you mean that, you know, you get on along with people and you're, like I said, the life of the party, you're a sanguine type of temperament. That's normal. Like, you know, there are different personality types, but he described himself as flirty, and I think that speaks more to himself about wanting validation and having an ego supplied without actually doing any bad actions. I think that's really a big thing for him. What I would say for her in her regard also is that she lacks confidence. Darling, you lack confidence.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
If who he is.
There was this part where she actually broke down in front of Blake, and where she was crying and saying, obviously, like, you know, she felt like, you know, she hadn't been seen by him, and, you know, that situation with him was that, you know, he didn't make her feel significant, okay? And so for me, I just felt like, you know what, girl, you breaking down in the very first seconds of talking to a new guy, that's problematic. You guys know I've done Ready to Love, and I spoke about this. Like, you go into a dating setting like this and you break down, that speaks more to your emotional maturity. It speaks to the fact that you don't know how to handle your emotions in certain arenas. Am I saying you're not allowed to cry? No, but what I'm saying is you don't know this person, and already if this is a potential suitor, you are breaking down in front of him. It's not cute. Like, do you know what I mean? Yes, he wants to get yes, he wants to get a date. Yes, he wants to be the one that you choose, but doesn't necessarily mean he actually wants you, and this is not attractive. You've got to hold some things back. Let me take a sip of water. Stay hydrated. And so with Chelsea and Thomas, I feel like obviously he likes having the fun, and I think although he knows that she's got insecurity, I think he plays on it. And when I say play on it, I think he uses it as again, ego and validation. Not that he wants her to be necessarily insecure, but when she is insecure, it helps with the validation. It's like, oh, you know, it's like a power trip almost, right? That you get from the person being insecure. It's like, I'm so amazing, they are feeling insecure, right? And it speaks to an insecurity in us. It speaks to a deficiency in the individual who's receiving that praise in that particular way. And so I'm not saying that he's even bad or she's bad. I'm saying they've got things to work on individually. This is not the show for it. Darling, this is not the show for it. You're on the show. The reason why they're on the show is
Unfortunately, I say prove yourself, because, you know, that's the issue here is trust. So
Doesn't mean I'm going to cheat on you. It doesn't mean that I have any
see if he's faithful. Darling, let me tell you something, and him too. You should have never been you should have never been talked into it, and he should have never talked you into it. If he wants this, if he believes he's faithful, be faithful. But there is no reason for him to go into a show like Temptation Island. It's called Temptation Island. The Bible says, flee from temptation, flee from immorality. Reason why is because you can't beat it. Eventually, it will collect you and collect your soul, blood. So for me, going on a show like this to prove that you're faithful doesn't really make sense. Right? Because you're putting yourself in an entrapment. Why do that to yourself? Bible says, put no confidence in your flesh. This flesh out here, trust me, it's fooled me a number of times, but where I thought I was amazing. And I wouldn't do it. I don't want to be doing that. Not in a relationship anyway, especially because I'm not just going to hurt myself. I'm going to hurt someone else. So for me, that I couldn't get down with that. And the fact that she got talked into it speaks a lot about her also confidence. If you feel like you've been talked into it, sis, and you didn't want to go on it, then it speaks a lot to your confidence. Or where is your confidence? Where is your boundaries? Where is your, actually, do you know what? I have a level of value for myself and I'm not going on the show. Am I cussing the show? No, but I'm just saying, like, this show is going to open so many wounds. It's unbelievable. Then also as well, the question about obviously that came out, which is the last one we're going to speak about them, was the question about the rules situation. Now, everybody's been asked about what rules they had, and obviously he asked her a question about can someone sit on his bed. Now, I don't know why he asked about someone sitting on his bed and why he didn't talk about something else, but the fact she took offense from it, I think it spoke volumes. Listen, I see both of their points of view. Why are you asking that question if you're here to be faithful? And two, I also see his point of view, which is why are you getting stressed? I'm asking you what our rules are so we know where our boundaries lie in a relationship, because you have to. We might be on two different pages, and that's important. So both of them, again, I see issues with both of them in the sense of the fact that he likes to play. He likes to play. He likes to have his ego stroked, right? She doesn't like that because she feels insignificant, which you'll find out in episode 2 because I've watched it. And so I can understand why she feels the way she does. Here's my recommendation for them at the moment. Go home. Go home and work on each individually. Work on yourselves. Work on the reason why you need your ego stroked, and then you two as an individual go and work on your confidence. Go and find your significance and your confidence outside of a relationship.
If I trusted him, there's no problem, but it's like, it's a weird feeling.
The relationship cannot give you the significance that you actually need. I am not saying that your partner shouldn't make you feel significant. I'm saying that it cannot give you the fulfillment of significance that you need in order to feel confident in your relationship, okay? Talking about Kirsten and Julian, let's have a look at them. I call these two the control and the coast and cheat. But more specifically, if you've been dating for 11 years, we saw this with Ashley and Hollywood. You've been dating for 11 years and you haven't married and you wanted to get married, this relationship is on its way out.
Reason why I wanted to do this experience with you.
My name is Kristen.
I'm Julian, and we've been together.
Can I
Stay
say
hydrated.
this relationship's on its way out? The reason why is because you're, number one, you're on this show, and number two, you're 11 years dating, and the reason why you haven't locked down the relationship to becoming a marriage is simply because he cheated in the past.
We know that, our relationship's not perfect. I was unfaithful, not gonna beat around the bush.
And am I saying is it simply
Stay
because
hydrated.
No, what I'm saying is either stick or get lost. Why are we dillying and dallying in the relationship? Now, the reason why people dilly and dally with these things is because, number one, if you look at their history, they've been together since they're 15. They're now, 26? That's 11 years, okay? They've been together for a majority of their adult life. They don't know any different. So this really is about not knowing any different and not knowing what's out there and only having each other as a point of reference for what a relationship looks like and what I could actually get. So there's a fear to step out of this place. There's a fear to step out from this particular relationship because, like I said, it's a fear of the unknown, right? And you've known each other since you're 15. Now you've known each other since you were kids. Like, you have to deep it. The psychology of that, when you've become kids to adults, to now go and start again, get in a dating world, it's a completely different ballgame. So I do understand the roots that are taking fold in the decision to stay together. But my issue is, you've been dating for 11 years. Yes, he cheated, but it doesn't matter whether he cheated in the first year or even in the last year. It's been going on for too long. It's been going on for too long. Okay, right? How did we not know when we want to get married? How do we not know that we're ready for it? At what point would it make her ready to go and get married? Not only that, he's actually said he would marry her tomorrow, and she said, "Don't do that." sis, where are you? What are you doing? You're punishing not only yourself, but him too. And he too has to take the initiative and say, either I want to be in here or not. But, you know, he's willing to wait because obviously I think he made a mistake, and so he's willing to make that wait. Otherwise, I don't think he would have waited that long. But anyway, you know, so if you're saying, sis, if Kirsten is saying to him, you know, I want to get to a place where we trust each other.
Infidelity is not something that I'm going to deal with for the rest of my life. We still haven't been able to move forward, which is why this is so serious.
That's one of the things that she said. She wants to get to a place where they trust each other. I'm like, sis, so wait, you don't trust him already? You don't trust him already? Sis, what are we doing? Why are we in a relationship for 11 years and you don't really trust him? Why are you not marrying him? Clearly you don't trust him the way you need to, and that's okay. Move on. But I understand the roots that are taking place. And so in that particular case, I understand the difficulties of having that. I mean, they do look like they have a good relationship. It's not like they have a bad one. They have good chemistry, it seems like. It's just the fact that, you know, they've been together for so long. It will feel like a waste of time. This is the sunken cost particular issue.
He always says, if it were up to me, I would propose to you tomorrow. And I always tell him, please don't do that.
And the sunken cost issue is simply that when you've put so much time, effort, energy, your money into something, pulling the plug becomes almost so much a more difficult issue to do because you feel like you've invested so much. How could you just pull the plug on the situation? So I totally understand it, and I get the fact that they don't want to release themselves from this relationship. But the point of the matter is, for me, is that you're not going to commit to marriage. And this particular thing, she's like, oh, if he's unfaithful, I'm going to that's the end of the relationship.
If he betrays me again, I will have to let him go for myself.
I love you.
Sis, the relationship ended years ago because you didn't want to move forward with it. The relationship ended years ago. You did not want to move forward with it. You're stagnant. You're in the same position. The water's beginning to stink. Relationship ended time ago. This is not going to prove to you that he's more loyal. You're putting him in a temptuous situation. You're putting him in a temptuous situation. You're actually asking for it. I would never do this because you're asking for trouble. You're asking for the person to actively have to deny themselves in an active field full of women that like your man. Your man is not ugly, blood. None of the women or men in this are ugly. They're good-looking people, you know. Good-looking people. And you put yourself in this position, of course, and then you say no rules. You're really asking for it, man. You know what I mean? And then obviously when we see Julian's behavior on the actual show, man, he's moving anti.
Oh, whoa.
We can't give hugs.
We good. We're going to hit her with the... Yes.
I say anti, like anybody that gets into physical contact, phew. And let me tell you something. When you become legalistic with something, the law will always kill you because you cannot complete the law. I know it's biblical, but you know the Bible says that we none of us are righteous enough to complete the law on our own. We needed Jesus Christ because the law is spiritual, but we were fleshly. Now here's what the interpretation of that scripture is in this context. In this context, what it means is when you become legalistic in the way that you're trying to dodge temptation, trust me, you're going to have issues. When he's now going, I can't be touched, you can't get near me, you can't get close to me, eventually what's going to happen is more than likely someone's going to breach those walls because you're a normal human being. You're going to have to interact. Are you going to if you go in the real world and you go to work, is that how you behave? Do you not hug anybody? Do you not talk to anybody? Do you not get close to anybody in the real world? It's not sustainable. You're a human being that likes socialism. There's no way this is going to work where you deny everybody and you don't want them to touch you, you don't want them to get close to you, they can't hug you, they can't talk to you. But all that militant behavior ends militant. It ends with you militantly doing something mad. Yeah, you end up, and the fall is much harder when you try to put yourself up so high. The fall is even greater. Do you know what I'm saying? So he also reacted to the cast members that were coming up, and I felt like the reason why he was reacting to the cast members really was because just like himself, Corey and Erica, they've got something to prove. He's got something to lose. Those who feel like they've got something to lose, they were the ones that were heavily reacting, you know what I'm saying? Even Thomas to a point was heavily reacting, kind of saying a few bars here and there. But Erica, Thomas, Corey, and Julian reacted in a certain way, right? When they saw the cast members, or they had something to say about the cast members, and they were defending their territory. but they also felt, I'm not saying intimidated, they also felt, you know, a sense of unease because like someone's coming closer to the person that they want to be with. I believe he wants to be with her, but you're going to put this guy in a tempestuous situation, man, more for both of you. Like, you can fool Kirsten and he can fool to Julian. So yeah, again, it's an interesting equation to see them react in this way. But yeah, guys, that's part 1. We're gonna drop a part 2 and 3. We're gonna do Erica and Kendall in another video. That's a full one. I need to break it down. But we're also gonna do Erin and Corey. I think it's some really important things we can learn from there as well, especially for men watching my channel as well. Guys, if you're on the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. It's a mazzoline, meaning it's mad, but you know what? You got the minerals, baby, which also means you're brave. You got the courage, you got the strength. You understand? Yeah, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, cool.